Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. It's the brother Bayan here to bring you a quick lesson. Prior to get started, I want to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopefully elect, you Akim, you Akwat, which is you brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. All right, and I pray that this lesson be edifying. It's gonna be quick. Just going to get an account in the book of Saint Matthew. And just pretty much base this lesson on the power of believing in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right, and what can come with it, the possibilities, all right, which are pretty much endless, once the Lord comes back, man, and if you are of that number, to be similar to Yahweh Shai, with Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to be great powers that come with it, all right, spiritual powers that the Lord is going to give us, all right, and you got to believe that, all right. And I'm gonna just kick it off. This is the book of Saint Matthew, chapter 14 and 22, and I'm gonna read it in NLT to make it plainer. It's one of my favorite I forget what to call it, moments, I guess, in the scriptures. All right, but it says Matthew 14 and 22. Immediately after this, Yahushua insisted that his disciples get back into the boat and cross the other side of the lake while he sent the people home. All right, after sending them home, he went up into the hills by himself to pray. Night fell while he was there alone. Meanwhile, the disciples were in trouble far away from land, for a strong wind had risen and they were fighting heavy waves. About 3 o'clock in the morning, Yahushua came toward them, walking on the water. When the disciples saw him walking on the water, they were terrified. In their fear, they cried out, "It's a ghost." But Yahushua spoke to them once and said, "Don't be afraid." He said, "Take courage, I am here." All right. Then Peter called to him, "Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you, walking on the water." "Yes, come," Yahushua said. So Peter went over the side of the boat and walked on the water towards Yahushua. All right. And that's amazing in itself. All right. Not only is Yahushua walking on water, showcasing his spiritual powers that he have. All right. But he also has Peter now walking on the water as well. All right. And all right, let's continue and let's see what happens, with Peter. All right. So Peter went over the side of the boat and walked on the water toward Yahushua. But when he saw the strong wind and waves, he was terrified and began to sink. "Save me, Lord," he shouted. Yahushua immediately reached out and grabbed him. "You have so little faith, Yahushua. Why did you doubt me?" All right. And again, Peter was walking on the water, and Yahushua, it's like I lost my point. Peter was walking on the water and basically started losing faith and started sinking. All right. His faith started wavering once he started to see all of these things happen around him, the winds getting stronger, the water getting more rough, and was terrified. All right. And by him taking his eyes off of Yahushua and paying attention to all the trouble that was going around, that caused him to sink. All right. But imagine Peter, maintain that faith all the way. He would have made that walk all the way to Yahushua. All right. And that's the importance of not letting your faith waver. All right. We know what's on the line. We see, that city that's builded. All right. Our eyes are single, our eyes are single on Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right. And at the end, if we keep on walking, just making an analogy now, if we keep on walking on the water like Peter did, once we get to the Lord, our rewards are going to be endless. All right. Because, again, if Peter would have made it there, imagine it would have been a different story. All right. It would have been a completely different story. All right. But, definitely account that, I believe truly happened. All right. As we all supposed to, ain't no cap, no cap, no lies told in any of these accounts. All right. And this is just the power that we're dealing with. All right, that power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. But again, all right, the main thing is to keep on moving forward. keep on moving forward and keep on staying disciplined. All right, staying disciplined and keeping that faith, aligned with Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Okay, and continuing on, it says Yahushua immediately reached out and grabbed him and said, "You have so little faith." Yahushua said, "Why did you doubt me?" When they climbed back into the boat, the wind stopped and the disciples worshiped him. "You really are the Son of God," they exclaimed. All right, and that's again amazing. A real short account. But it holds a lot of weight in many different avenues. All right, so we got to see, what happened if you lose faith. All right, you'll start to fall, or you can see what happens if you start to get distracted about things that's going around you and not keeping your eyes single to Yahushua. All right, so it's a lot of things you could pull from the story. All right, but again, let's focus more on, keep on pushing, so we can receive the reward at the end. All right, and that's the point, man. Let's see if they got more. No, that was it. There's only 3 more verses, but it's not really going into the to that account with him walking on the water. But again, well, I pray that this lesson was edifying. Just a little quick hit, and a reminder to keep working. Our salvation is nearer than we believe. Don't get distracted with the bullshit that's going on around us. All right, but again, pray that this lesson was edifying. Trying to get out of here. I want to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, and Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You Akim, you Akwath, which you brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. Shalom.